Peyton. How are you doing this morning? Oh, I need to open my coffee. Hello, everyone. How are you doing today? How are we doing? Oh, we're going to wait for more people to get here. Start by telling me how your day is going. There's stuff everywhere. How is your morning going, y'all? Or afternoon, I guess, at this point. Maybe morning where you are. There we go. Hello, hello, hello. Hello. How you doing today? You're early. Yes, you are. Hello. Deviant for, or Joe, Deviant for life. Oh, my goodness. This is a new phone, y'all. Sorry, I'm trying to learn how to do this with this phone. But you can message me on Snapchat. Your thing is already in the progress, or process? Process, that's the word. Your stuff is already in the process of being sent. Oh, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Good morning. How is everybody doing? Hello? Okay, first question. My bearded dragon has been glass surfing and appetite is down. What do we do? I mean, there's a lot of different reasons why this could happen. I have a whole video on why they glass surf, so that would be a good resource to go to. Whoo, I almost spilled my coffee, thank gosh. And another thing would be like appetite. There are many reasons why they won't eat as well. I actually have a whole video on that, like that covers all the different topics. So they're two separate videos, but those are going to be the ones for you on that topic. Hi, I have a bearded dragon and his name is Yoshi. My name is Sully. Well, it's very nice to meet you, Sully and Yoshi. Hello. What's with the leaves? Okay, so I am decorating this room. I'm actually filming the compilation video, and it'll be high speed of me like decorating this room, but these vines are gonna go all up on the walls and stuff like that. I don't know if you can see it. Ooh. It's gonna go all up on the walls and the ceiling and just all this decoration, but these things get tangled, so I have to put them on my fan. So yeah, that's why they're there. Oops, goodness. This will stay. I need a better stand for this new phone, y'all. Okay. Why is my bearded dragon sleeping for over 9 months? That's called brumation. I actually have a whole series of little videos on this. If you go to my channel, you can type into the search bar on my channel, not the main search bar, for keywords like feeding, bathing, or whatever else, brumation. Just type in keywords and then you'll be able to find it. I have a baby bearded dragon. Any tips? So with baby bearded dragons, I actually have a video on juvenile feeding, which is about the only video I have on juvenile care because I don't have a juvenile dragon. It is something that I will tell you here and now because I got like 37,000 people following me. There's only 43 of you right now. I can say this here. I'm planning on getting another dragon. And it'll probably be my last dragon. Just dragon, not lizards. Because we know I love my lizards. I have an addiction. But it'll be my last dragon until one of them passes away. And I plan for it to be a baby. Because what videos don't I have on my channel? Baby videos! So I will be doing that because I have actually never raised a juvenile up to an adult. But we've had them before, you know, I've worked with them. It's just I never personally have owned one myself. So I want to be able to have those videos for you guys. And also, like, I want to raise a baby dragon. I want to raise all the babies. Oh, my friends are messaging me. Okay, my Beauty Dragon came out of remission about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and now she's just sitting here and not eating. She refuses to hear anything, or to eat anything, or not even bugs, what should I do? What do you mean remission? Like, I assume from some illness. So when it comes to the meds that you give dragons, it can definitely kind of affect their appetite. So giving lots of water, soft foods, anything that you can get to feed them, even slurries. That's what I've done a lot with dragons that are coming back from illness. And if you don't know how to create a slurry, I have a video on that as well. But with that, if you have issues after, I want to say like a week and a half, 2 weeks of not eating, that's when I would go start asking a vet, because they do need to eat, It could just be so many different reasons that it's kind of hard to give advice here when I'm not looking at the dragon. I'm also not a vet. Let's remember that I am not a vet. I am just an experienced owner. How much is too much fruit for full-grown bearded dragons? This is actually an amazing question that not enough people ask. So, fruit. You only feed fruit twice a week. Me, sometimes I only feed it once a week. I buy lots of fruit, but then of course I have to eat like the remnants of it because they're not going to eat all of that fruit. So you only feed it once or twice a week simply because it has so much sugar content. Okay, so it's too sweet. It's not the healthiest to feed them all the time. So you really only want to feed them once or twice a week, and then how much? So for their salads, they get their, let me see. I know, don't look at me like that. So for their salads, all right, this is a general bearded dragon bowl, okay? You're gonna have the lettuce, or not lettuce, don't do lettuce, dark leafy greens. I'm sorry. Dark leafy greens, and then like a little bit of fruit like mixed in there on top. You don't fill the whole thing with fruit. You don't have a whole separate thing filled with fruit. That's not how you do it. You put a little bit of fruit on top of this salad. You don't give them a whole fruit salad by itself. It's too much. And if you are going to do it like that, then you better only be feeding them fruit once a week. Because that is too much. That's how we get chunky dragons with health issues. Oh, it takes life with pipes. I like to be the best. I try. Joe, I don't know if you heard me, but I answered your question already, hon. It's in the works. What's your best way to contact you? Because I have messaged you on Instagram and Snapchat and you haven't seen it. I am so sorry. I try so hard to get to all of y'all. There's just so many of y'all. So it's hard. I am one person and I don't have a staff. I would love a staff, but I don't have one. I'm just me. I am just one lizard guru and I am trying my best. So the best that I can say is, so what's your name? Joshua Perez. Is that what your social media accounts look like? Oh my gosh. Is that the name of your Snapchat or Instagram? Because when I look back at these messages and people say that they've been trying to contact me, I can go search for their names, but it's hard when they don't have the same names as their, channels. So let me know what your name is and I can try to sift through those messages. I'm so sorry. I'm trying. Well, hey, Life with Lesia. I want to know how to pronounce that. Lesia apostrophe. How do you pronounce that? I want to know. It just seems like it rolls off the tongue so nice. I have a question. How can you tell when it is time to cut my bearded dragon's nails? Well, generally, not with Aether because he's the worst example of that. So I have found, until Aether, I always thought that bearded dragons had thicker nails, and I never understood why people had all these issues with getting all these scratches and stuff, because I never had that issue because I always kept my dragon's nails filed. But I have found out through Aether, there are some dragons that have skinnier nails, okay? And even when you cut them down to where they're supposed to be, they're still going to be sharp. That's Aether. He's one of those. Him. This guy right here. He's scratched the crap out of me, but it's okay. We still love him. So the best way to know that is you have to look at the quick. I have a whole video on like how to cut their nails, when to cut their nails, what it looks like, what not to cut, go look at that video. Now the issue with, cutting nails is some dragons have all white nails. This was hard to figure out where to cut it. So if you have this type of dragon, I would look for the divot at the end. So you know how I have this nail, right? So a dragon's nail kind of looks similar. Like this is, like, pretend that this is all nail. Like this whole thing is nail. This is the tip of it, and that is what you would cut. It has like a little divot in it. And like you cut that part at the very end. But with dragons with white nails, like I said, it's hard to know that. So the best bet for those types of dragons, if you're too scared to cut their nails, I would just get tile or something where they can file down their nails naturally, so that way you don't have to worry about it. If you have a dragon like Aether where they just have naturally skinny nails, sometimes it's just going to be sharp regardless, and you're just going to have to like wear cushy clothes. It's just part of the love. It's part of the practice. You gotta love them. Sorry. I'm so sorry to hear that, Beardy Mama. My Beardy won't eat his veggies. Why won't he eat them? Probably because he's never been given them as a juvenile. If he's an adult dragon and doesn't eat like greens or anything like that, then it's probably because he wasn't introduced, or they were not introduced when he was a juvenile, which is one of the biggest mistakes when carrying or like raising up baby dragons, because people think since they're just supposed to get mostly bugs, they're not supposed to get their salad. But if they don't get their salad, then they don't know it's food when you have to switch and give them mostly salads when they're adults. Huge issue there. So I have a whole video on how to feed them, or like not how to feed them. I do have a video on how to feed them. I have a video on 1, how to get them to eat their greens, 2, salads that dragons will eat, and then there's a 3rd video that I am coming out with soon that I am creating as we go, along with the 3 other videos that I'm recording at the same time. And it's on how to create, it's going to be a Beardy Chef video. Basically, how to create salads that are interesting and appetizing for bearded dragons, good combinations, things that always work for my dragons, little extra tips that I didn't put in the how to get them to eat greens video. So that video is coming, and it'll probably be the next video that is actually up on my channel next Saturday. So that's coming. So it's not just about like, them knowing that it's food. 1, they have to like it. 2, they have to like, be intrigued by it. Like if it just looks like a pile of green stuff, they're not gonna want it. I wouldn't want it. So you have to make it look interesting for them. So lots of different ways you can do that. How long does brumation last? There's no correct answer for that. It depends on the dragon, and it depends on the dragon. So it can last, honestly, it can last like 9 months, 10 months, shorter. Sometimes they only sleep for like a few weeks, like a week, a few days. It really just depends on the dragon. Now, if they have only like slept for like 2-3 days, maybe a week, I don't call that brumation. I call that a nap. Technically it is a brumation because their body is starting to do the shutdown, but it's not a full brumation. Like a week, or like under a week, under a month is like not really a full brumation. And you might want to look into why that's caused, because sometimes like when dragons have a lower food supply, when the weather gets colder, they naturally start to shut down and go into brumation. So look at your temperatures. Because actually it is a fact. There's no issue if they go into brumation like while they're in captivity. My dragons didn't go into brumation this year. It's because they didn't need to. I had like central, heating and everything. The temperature was the same all year round. Before that, I was in an apartment that didn't have great heating. It was a really cheap apartment. Cold air was coming in all the time. And so like they were fine. It's just they started to shut down when it got colder, because at the cold side of their tank, it was colder than it was supposed to be. This can happen. You have to really be mindful of what's going on in your tank. This is why temperature gauges and a temp gun are amazing to have. And like my dragons haven't been tired this winter. They've just been standing up the windows and they're going to be awake. So really just try to think of like why they might be going into it, or sometimes it's not even like anything you do. They just go into it. Just food for thought. Okay, going down, going down, going down. When should I change my dragon's diet to adult food? So you should change your dragon's diet to adult food anywhere from 10 months to a year old, so 10 to 12 months. I actually have a whole video on, the juvenile versus the adult dragon diet. They're two separate videos because they cover the diet separately. So again, go up to the search bar in my channel, not the main search bar. Click on my channel, go to the search bar in my channel, type keywords, and you'll find the videos. My bearded dragon has a dark spot on his head, which the vet said is just shed, but he has shed and it's still dark. Any thoughts? So it could be the parietal eye, which is a lot of people get scared by that. They actually technically have a third, I don't know what I was doing with this, third eye per se. So look up parietal eye, P-A-R, A-I-T-A-L, I think. I think that's how you spell it. Parietal eye, and that's what it does is they can't actually see see everything, like pictures with it. It detects heat and it detects shadows. So say there's a bird flying over them. That little eye on the back of their head, that little dark spot, is going to detect it and they're going to react. So this is also, fun fact, another reason why new dragons, and also even dragons that you've had for a while, don't like you coming from above them to pick them up. Always come from below. This is a predator. This is a friend. This is a predator. This is a friend. My dragon's name is Pepper because when we got him, he looked like a pepper. Aw, well that's cute. Well, hello, Peyton. It is you again. How are you doing? How can I give my bearded dragon his medicine? So I actually have a video on how to give them medicine. In the video, I was giving her water because, she didn't need meds, so I wasn't going to give her meds she didn't need. But it's same thing. I teach you how to give them meds through syringe. I don't do injections in the videos or anything like that because I honestly haven't had to give my dragons injections. But if that were to become a thing, I would make a video about it. What you doing there, Aether? Huh? Okay, going down, going down, going down. We're at 17 minutes here. When we get to 30 minutes, that's when I'm gonna head off, y'all. Can they eat raspberries? Yes, my dragons love raspberries. They love their raspberries. I'm pretty sure I have plenty of videos with them eating them as well. How should I help my Beardy shed? He won't shed. You don't. You just let them do their thing. There's no correct time to shed. There's no, because this is the thing. This is one of the biggest questions people seem to have when they have a juvenile dragon. Okay, like say you get a juvenile dragon. This dragon is going to shed like weekly, daily. It's just going to shed all the time because it's growing so much. Like that dragon is going to triple, quadruple in size. Okay, so they're going to shed so much, which is also why they need those bugs. Why they get more bugs, because they need all that protein. But when they get to be an adult dragon, they don't need that protein because they're not growing anymore. And they're also not going to shed as much because guess what? They're not growing. So they're going to shed bits and pieces. My dragons only shed every few months. And when they shed, it's not their whole body like a juvenile dragon does. It's bits and pieces. Like they might shed a little spot on their face, might shed an arm, might shed a toe and a tail at the same time, might shed the belly. It's whatever. You don't force it, for one. You don't pick off their shed, for two. And three, it just happens naturally. There's no correct time limit for them to shed. They just shed when they're ready. Kind of like us. We shed our skin too. Just not exactly like they do. Hi, I love your channel. Well, thanks so much, Nosito. I was wondering how to bathe my baby Beardy for the first time. So, If there is poo on them, then you get a soft bristle toothbrush and gently, take it off. Um, and if not, then I would recommend like a small tub or like the sink with with a washcloth at the bottom of it or a rock. Preferably a washcloth, because the reason why dragons have such a hard time in water, they can't see it. So there is this, invisible force moving them around and they have no traction, and it seems like a horror movie. That's literally what it seems like to them. So what the towel at the bottom of, or washcloth does at the bottom of the tub, or whatever it is that you're using, sink preferably for baby dragons, is it gives them friction and traction. So the other thing is that water should not come up to their neck. It should not come above their, stomach. Like, it should be just touching their stomach. Because they're so tiny. And that's same with adult dragons too. Like, they can all drown. Like, they all have the ability to drown. So you don't want to make that a thing, Just be very careful and mindful with little baby dragons, and don't put them in there more than 10 to 15 minutes. What size tank should I have for my adult Beardy? So they need a minimum of a 40-gallon breeder, not just a 40-gallon, because there's a difference between a 40-gallon and a 40-gallon breeder. Breeder tanks are wider. If you go and look up just a 10-gallon tank, it is so skinny. It is like there's no movement, so you need the breeder tanks, and that goes for all of them, not just 40 gallons. But this right here is a 75-gallon. This is actually a reptile tank. What are you doing, Aether? Freaking out. This is actually a reptile tank. This down here is a 40-gallon breeder. Nixie doesn't do well in the 75-gallon, so I put her in the 40-gallon breeder, and she does just fine. I am planning on getting her a new tank, though. It'll be a PVC tank with front opening doors. We need it. So yes, just definitely minimum of 40-gallon breeder tank. But dragons, I wiped my nose off, y'all. But dragons generally love bigger tanks. So the bigger the better. Though sometimes you have the exception of dragons like Nyx, where they're so flustered by all that space that they don't know what to do. They just kind of stop, lizarding. So it just depends. Like, see what your dragon is comfortable in, see what they like. What are you doing, Aether? We only got a few more minutes, bud, and I will let you. Oh my goodness. I might get him in a second. Hi, I wanted to know if it's okay to feed my dragon goldfish. I've heard it's okay. I really wouldn't. Just coming from me, I really would not. Like, just, I really would not. You had a hard time getting up there, bud. Who are you bobbing at? Hey, I wonder why my bearded dragon won't eat for a while. Can you help? So I actually have a whole video on all the reasons why dragons won't eat. Go to my channel and type in eating or won't eat, and it'll be under there. It'll be all the reasons why. Let me see. I had slate for a while and that worked. That's awesome. For the filing nails, I'm sure definitely would work. Okay, going down, 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 down. Ooh, so many messages. I love y'all. Y'all are so great. Sorry, I had to go make buffalo chicken dip. Maddie, you are a goddess and a queen. I love you. It's okay. Priorities, babe. How do you get your Beardy to be more active? Like that? That's what you want? This is what you want right there? Well, proper husbandry, proper lighting, proper care and hole, proper diet. So one of the main things that actually helps energy is that big ol' UVB right there. A lot of people don't have tube lights, or they don't have the proper tube light, and they have coil bulbs that doesn't reach them. And then you see all these dragons that are super tired and lazy, and it's because they don't have proper UVB for one. Because if you go outside, bring your dragon outside in the sunlight, you bring them back inside, you're gonna notice like this weird charge of energy, and they'll just be. It's like almost like a little charger. Like if you put them like. You put them on a charger, like your phone, as if you would put that on a charger. The sun is their charger, like that UVB in the sun. Not just heat. Like the UVB and heat and whole is what the sun consists of, right? So you need that UVB. You need proper diet as well. And sometimes it's just in the personality. Like he is the most active dragon I have ever had. Over Belly as well. Like you thought Belly was active. He's worse. He's worse. He's more sass, but he's worse. Take them out more. Tanya, I take them out a lot more than y'all see. I take them out all the time. If I took them out more than I did, they would not be getting heat. I took her out often, gave her lots of attention and everything, but she hasn't been as active. It's not about attention, and it's not about, it's about the care. It's about the UVB and the husbandry, and about the feeding. Like what are you feeding them? Like it's not about the physical affection. That has nothing to do with their activeness. What do you do when your bearded dragon dies? My little Zane passed away yesterday, and I was wondering what I do with him. I also want to thank you for helping me raise Zane. So, there are a couple different options here. By the way, I am sorry for your loss, Dragon Blood. That's never a fun thing. I've been there, as I'm sure a lot of us here have. We empathize. So there are a couple things you can do. You can bury them, you can get them cremated. If you're curious as to what went wrong, you can get something called a necropsy, which is where they examine the dragon's insides, like to see what the cause of death was. You can also get them, I cannot remember the name of it, but Ether Bud. He is sassy. You can get them is it taxidermy? I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. But it's like in the jars. The specimen, wet specimen. There you go. You can get a wet specimen, which a lot of people won't agree with that. They'll think it's wrong or whatever, but I mean, there's nothing, those are just science. It's not like you killed them or anything. It would just be preservation of that. So it's really whatever you want to do or what suits you. Some people get little handprints. This wasn't a handprint from a lost dragon. This is actually Aether's handprint that I used to put on my letters for y'all. So you get like a handprint like this. This is made out of polymer clay and it's dated. You could do something like that. The reason why I did that was for the letters that I send out for my products. It has all of their actual handprints on the bottom. So that's why I did that. You could do something like this. This is beautiful to have. I love keeping it by the tank. And it's really pretty. So that's a fun thing you could do. Not food either. I swore I fed him. I don't know what he was tripping about. Oh my goodness, boy. What am I going to do with you? My 7-month-old dragon is a little bit impacted. Baths aren't enough, so what do you suggest giving him to help? So I stopped recommending prune juice as much because really that can upset their stomach if you give them too much. That is a way that you can do it. I have a whole video on how to clear impaction, and I used a mixture of like olive oil and prune juice, and it worked. But there are other options. You can also use pumpkin, like cook up a little bit of pumpkin, give them that. That is like a natural poo exploder. What else? You can give them, I'm trying to think. like anything mushy like that, squash, things that just kind of pass naturally, but generally it's like it's pumpkin that I use to help them do that. A little bit of cooked pumpkin or cooked sweet potato or something like that. Stomach rubs, if you haven't been doing that in the bath, definitely helps that, work through. Even if it isn't making them poo like right away, giving them stomach rubs to like kind of like, work the poo down helps. Alrighty, you guys. One more question and then I gotta go. I heard you can use applesauce. Yes, you can also use applesauce as well. That is very, very true. I really want to bring my, if you use applesauce, make sure it's not the one with cinnamon or anything like that. It's the plain applesauce. Please do that. Johan, I've answered your questions like 6 times now. It is on the way. You can message me, and it is in the process of getting to you. So, why is my dragon bobbing her head and my other dragon, both girls? I don't know what that means. So are they bobbing? Are they in view of each other? So you see how my dragons are not in view of each other? They're on top of each other. Dragons can't see each other. They can't be in view of the other because, they get territorial and they'll start bobbing. They'll start being like kind of showing aggression and stuff like that. He just wants out. But with them, they really can't be in view of the other. So if that's happening and you have the dragons like in view, move them. Like whether it's with a rack system, putting them in separate rooms, covering a side or something, they can't see each other, or you're always going to have that. Alrighty. So, last question. T5 is stronger, so you put those on top, and T8 you can hang inside the tank. That's very true. Is England warm enough to bring a bearded dragon out in the summer? I'm really trying to be careful because I'm new to all of this. I don't know how warm England is, to be honest. Anywhere like 70 degrees is like okay to bring them out in, but 80s, 90s, 100s, those are like the best times to bring them out for that. So I hope that helps. I love you guys. I am going to head out now. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. I am going to do some lizarding now. And have a happy Sunday. Until next time, have a wonderful, wonderful week. Mwah.